There's a moment in many action films where a cop, chasing a fleeing suspect, stops a passing car, throws the driver out, and takes off in hot pursuit. He's commandeered a private car to enforce the laws. This is exactly President Trump's latest executive order in sanctuary cities. He thinks he's the cop, and San Francisco is the car he will commandeer in his pursuit of undocumented immigrants. Oddly enough, there's one thing that keeps him from taking over cities to do it: his own party's opposition to Obamacare. Because the United States is a federal system, there are different layers of law. Immigration law is the exclusive power of the federal government, and local governments usually have no role in the matter. But sometimes they do get involved. A few years ago, the state of Arizona passed a controversial law that required the police to check the immigration status of people they interacted with. Many cities have gone the other way, becoming sanctuary cities. While there is no rigorous definition, in a sanctuary city, local law enforcement and other government officials don't ask residents about immigration status, or refuse to turn people over to immigration authorities. Many of the largest cities in the country have made themselves into sanctuary cities. At least 30 million people live in these cities, and even more in sanctuary counties and states. Officials concerned with enforcing immigration law dislike these policies. Undocumented immigrants living in San Francisco are essentially invisible to the federal government, as they can go years without having to interact with any government other than the city. President Trump pledged to punish sanctuary cities, and one of his first executive orders attempts to do so. As much as he might like, he can't just order San Francisco to report people to immigration authorities because of the federal system. Outside of some areas far beyond the scope of this video, the federal government can't force states to do anything they don't want to do. They can't commandeer the car. The only way they can get a state to do something is to offer something they want in return: money. Congress and the president enact a lot of policy by offering a gigantic carrot in the form of billions and billions of dollars. States have unemployment schemes because Congress promised them money if they spent it on making them. The drinking age is 21 in every state because Congress offered money to build roads to any state willing to change its laws. The carrot is huge. 17% of the federal budget, 4% of the country's GDP, is just these sort of grants of money from the feds to local governments. What Trump wants to do is to take away the carrot to any government that doesn't agree with his immigration policies, holding back all funding for everything. This could be devastating. San Francisco receives about $450 million from the feds each year, on top of another $800 million from the state, some of which is itself just another grant from the feds. The president could just take away all that money and wait until voters, angry at unfunded schools and unfixed roads, vote in a more agreeable mayor. This is where Obamacare comes in. One of Obamacare's many provisions expanded Medicaid, a program of health insurance for low-income families. Obamacare threatened to take away all money that states already received on funding this program if they did not expand coverage, partially at their own expense. It was a choice between joining in the Obamacare plan or losing everything. Not really a choice. Opponents of Obamacare challenged this provision all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in their favor. The court had consistently held that it's unconstitutional to use funding in a way in which pressure turns into compulsion. And here it called the threat a gun to the head of the states. Conditioning all past funding on compliance with a new law crossed the line into a demand they were not allowed to make. Trump's plan is the same gun to the head. Money that has nothing to do with immigration, conditioned on whether states and cities comply with his demands. Provided the court stays consistent in the coming years, and cities stand resolute, he may find it hard to jump in that car in pursuit of, well, anyone. Hey, thanks for watching. As you can tell, we're still getting the hang of this YouTube thing. And what we've learned is that YouTube treats us differently depending on viewer engagement. So when you click the like button or the subscribe button, it actually makes a huge difference in terms of our ability to get noticed and shared on YouTube. So you could help.